Hello guys, Salty Gamer here, back from another part of Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, and let's get started.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Kyoko's right there.
Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
No.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
I can't believe we have to prove this.
Then
Really?
let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One point trait Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
It's not a ghost. There's no way that corpse is Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here, and this case won't move forward. So, I don't have any choice but to. Really? Hagakure? Really?
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Cause that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
It is stupid. I know that body isn't Kyoko, I know I can prove it.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a...
The dead body wasn't wearing...
They got burnt up.
Then she was wearing...
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing... Cause that corpse is...
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko... Okay, then prove
The dead body was...
They got burnt up.
Then she was wearing...
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Cause that corpse is
What?
absolutely...
This entire discussion is idiotic.
It missed?
That Kyoko... Okay, then prove
The dead body was...
They got burnt up.
Then she was wearing...
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong. No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Yeah. For anything else, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there.
Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out.
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
The one thing they can tell us what's on the victim's own body.
If Kyoko really is still alive,
Then who died?
There's gotta be some...
I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond, and there wasn't any description.
Well, if we
Can't identify the body.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
a cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Nope.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
Compare the tattoo to other information we have. Victim's identity should become clear.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... wolf?
Now I understand!
That was easy.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man! After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character, which would mean she was the same as us. just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this, no matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
It was Kyoko.
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at, well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered?
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock. So it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. And I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay then, looks like the game must be on. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then it's prove the murder didn't happen during time I didn't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make clear when the body ended up in the garden.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Something that happens in the garden at the same time every morning. Even that corpse was almost totally dry. In which case, I should be able to figure out when the body must appear in the garden.
We've established a time. It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep. And Makoto.
Yeah, from to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be. We've established a time. It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep. And Makoto.
Yeah, from to 7:30.
Shoot!
We've
What?
established a time frame for the murder.
It took place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi.
Yeah, from 10 to 7:30.
What?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
And 9 o'clock. Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have an...
Yeah, from to 7:30.
What?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame
For the murder.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, come on.
No, that's wrong.
Really? That's why I lost so many hearts?
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean by denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
What does that have to do with anything?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove that wasn't sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. It was... Look at the body itself, then we should make it clear. Really?
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. That's enough. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything. That's enough. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Will she talk? Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which means that Mukuro's killer is. No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone that's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever, which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all, and as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Sorry, something at the scene of crime that was used to cover the body could have been...
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Does she want Makoto dead? Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivation, so I don't do something. Everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
And never the blood on the body hasn't dried yet. Y'all could even want to stop touch it to avoid getting any blood on us.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp is because the spring...
But the underside, it was totally spot.
It's because that side was protected since it was facing down toward...
Of course it didn't get dirty!
No, that's wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
You got blood right there in the garden, right? Which must mean...
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken? And then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Has she recovered her memories? Is she evil? This guy's dead body has been added to the truth below section of your handbook.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
That's stupid.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have a knife, what are you gonna do with it? Can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to him, Makoto? Did she set him up? Me.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. Thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up to now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So
Nope.
there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
We already established the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed. Which means that when the knife was thrust through the coat into the body,
The knife we found lodged in the...
It's the same one we...
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that...
That seals it.
Look, just because I had that automatically...
Well,
Getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave...
It really is, isn't it?
if he did have that...
That seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes...
Well,
Getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies. We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
the victim was stabbed twice in the same spot. No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition where the body was written down for everyone to see.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
So what did kill her?
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
No.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Fine. So what explanation can think of for the explosion?
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
Is Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
You have to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Nope.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't. Then there's.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was covered up in all those other wounds, and her body was fresh. Which only leaves.
Then shall we continue
The debate? The victim's fatal
the explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't. Then.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
And more than that, the victim had
Suffered countless wounds across her entire
What?
body.
Shoot!
Then
shall we continue
the victim's
fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
And it wasn't. Then.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Then shall we
continue the victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
What?
Yes.
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the debate?
The victim's
Fatal injury has
Yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
Then shall we continue the victim's fatal injury?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah, she was
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be it. There was.
And more than that,
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the victim's fatal injury?
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't. Then.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire... Then shall we
continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
No, that's wrong.
Really? That was a contradiction?
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
I'm gonna save here just in case. Just in case something goes wrong.
Oh! I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks.
What?
I bet you just hit me with a metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. It was locked.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master. You have no right!
It's just a titanium. If it was just that titanium arrow, it wouldn't be enough. It wouldn't be nearly thick enough. Which is why they use
the titanium arrow. It was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must have. It seems like an
Arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Were you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
The key in your room.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you?
You'll all die.
If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Really? Didn't know that? Evidence that Kyoko went to dojo. Must be connected to the dojo, to that dojo locker.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
Yup.
What?
She was protecting me. Then does that mean she knew it was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Would that be when which means that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
Okay, maybe I should save the game. Because I feel like an important decision is gonna be I have to make soon.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
What? Yaka should know better than anyone. What does that mean?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean
Those words you just spoke.
What? Exactly.
I'm not the killer.
You should understand.
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's proof that you aren't the. Is that what you're.
You stated a thing. You said I hid the.
And then left
The locker key in my own room.
correct?
What?
Shoot!
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what. I'm not the.
You should
Understand that.
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's proof that you aren't. Is that what you're.
You stated a. You said I hid the evidence and then left.
The locker key in my own room.
correct?
But could I really have done that?
Those words you just.
Exactly. I'm not the. You should understand.
Byakuya!
Master would never.
There's proof
That you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There's clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. A total lie, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. Try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that friend? Because she's a killer? Or is it something else? Is there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. That's why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid up for us. Mastermind's trap. Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko, but what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I? Mastermind's trap. Victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows this lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? Mastermind's trap. You spend all your time trying to avoid danger and never move forward. You know the danger, but that risk means solving the case mystery. You have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether not to expose Kyoko's lie. Can I save? Nope.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you, so let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko is definitely lying. It must be because some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
Kyoko herself told me before the trial started that she has stolen something very important from the Headmaster's room.
I didn't have the because I'd given it to. There's no doubt.
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Shoot!
I didn't have the because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about.
You are correct.
So I couldn't.
Possibly have gotten into.
No, that's wrong. No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself. Didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. They used Monokuma's secret tool which could open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing—
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
Well, what are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap. And I wasn't able to escape it, so I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't, Kyoko? You really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
Oh, I think I picked the wrong choice. Can I go back? Let's just check this first. What happens here?
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any—
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you. But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
I'm gonna get a bad ending. Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. You got it right? Doesn't mean Kyoko really is killer, but something strange going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Is everyone okay?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Oh no. So I picked the wrong choice then. What's happening? Oh no, it's gonna be bloody. Ew. That was how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent or regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me, I stopped thinking about it. Now it's the end of Mukuro's class trial. In the end, it will prove to be our last class trial. Once that case is over, there's never a single murder at Hope's Peak Academy ever again. You obtain peace in exchange for lives of all the others. Wait, what? Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. Did everyone have kids? Oh, he and Hagakure had babies with, had kids with Hina. That was the only hope we had. Oh. This is hope.
No! This isn't right!
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Her claim. Oh, that's right, I have to. So I suppose Kyoko's lying or not. You spend all your time trying to avoid danger. You never move forward. You know the danger, but that risk means solving the mystery you have no choice. Am I wrong? She's not wrong. I think about this very carefully. What do I do? I made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she'll kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
It's rigged.
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the Mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late! So we had to push back the start time! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
That was the wrong choice again.
Voting time?
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You got it all wrong, you didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
You got it right. No, that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
Makes perfect sense.
Shing!
Same as always, just like all the other class trials. I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Time for your heart pounding, positively feeling punishment. Wait, why do I... Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Okay, guys, I could not show that execution scene, the Makoto execution scene, because YouTube kept blocking it worldwide. So I just had to cut it out of the video. So what happened was Makoto's execution scene was the exact same as Kyoko basically, but except this time when he was about to get squashed by the machine, Alter Ego saved him and she stopped the machine. And then suddenly the floor beneath Makoto opened up and he went to an unknown part of the school where there's a lot of trash. As for why YouTube will not allow me to show the Makoto execution scene, I don't know, because plenty of other playthroughs, hundreds and thousands of playthroughs have shown that scene, yet mine gets blocked worldwide. I mean, YouTube's content ID system is just faulty. Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that? Did Ultra Eagle save him? Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Ultra Ego. Ultra Ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? Must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn all tell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
Seems to me we finally made a miscalculation. No, he miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why talking like you already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an inch. An itch. Stupid virus gone now, guy. It's always Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage, strong pit. In a way that's even better special punishment. But still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. Still gonna bring spare to the rest of you. Bring spare to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just well, what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay, we're not the only ones being trapped this time.
Huh?
In other words...
Now it's Mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. What's gonna happen? Massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Havoc Academy? Wait, is this the start of the game again? It brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school privilege. You say if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which means Hope's Peak is makes Hope's Peak a pretty big name. There are two things you need to attend to school. One, you already have to be attending high school. Two, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student can enroll here. The only way is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school, filled with ultimate students, was me. Yeah? What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zoink off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I've ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Yeah. Finally. Could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this isn't a dream at all. This isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils were too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast dark cavern with the barest hints of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. And a heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just beginning my problems. I was gonna be stuck in there till I wasted away and died. No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remember all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me, and used the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now, for my sake, for myself and for my friends. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of there. Is that an airplane? How does something like that wind up in the school garbage pit? This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. It's locked. How many times I push or pull or kick it all, it didn't budge. Getting out here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if not getting out here anytime soon. So I look around for some food. There's plenty of food around, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I search for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink, and which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides, but that's still not enough reason to give up because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. Wait, what? My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was the only way to preserve what little strength I had left, after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed, and all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign, not exactly. What is it? A strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched the pile of garbage jostle and form an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. Is this supplies? What could it have been? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? Carefully stretched my hand out towards whatever it was that tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash, rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Oh wow, how'd you get down here? This place smells awful. Kyogo,
Indeed.
you look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Oh, good. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you, I'm so hungry. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way towards my stomach. Woo, that really hit the spot. Now I got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Hmm?
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good. That's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you.
Why?
I banned you. Don't say that. You didn't ban me. Pretty sure she did. No, that's exactly what I did. I banned you in order to save my own life. You're trying to save me. I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there's a reason I survived no matter what the cost. Yes, I know, so you can solve the mystery of this school. Why'd you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive
In other words,
is so that I can do what I came to school to do. To free everyone? What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So it's some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
indeed.
That's right, at least I did once. Once? Until recently I forgot what it was. Forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory, that's impossible. Amnesia. Then is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that has happened? That happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? First thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within me. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time I forgot. I couldn't remember why I came to school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you lost your memory because?
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. It's my purpose, and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the master of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I need to have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we worked as one, the mastermind will know us right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it's a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believes that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she looked into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there's limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Yeah. It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, know. It's just I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that just suppressed her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how did that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose, my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. I knew it. The ultimate detective.
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy. There's someone I had to find in here in the school. Yeah, find someone who?
So...
Well, it was Headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. Headmaster? Why did you want to find the Headmaster? Because he's my father. I knew it. This was too obvious. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the Headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad. Is Hope's Peak Headmaster? Oh wow, I could never seen that coming. Then that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the Headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the Headmaster.
No matter what?
The cause.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? I remember he hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear, so there's no misunderstanding. I said the Headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt. Well, I only said what I felt based on what I seen when I snuck into the Headmaster's room. And what'd you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. The desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms, using the key I found. But why there? Because I also found this in Headmaster's room. This some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's to lay out the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in Headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile on that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for facility use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. I figured the Headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that was true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So he went there to see if the Headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? Sorry to describe, all I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized... Whatever's going on in school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
Can't explain, you need to see it for yourself. I'm sure you got your chance soon enough. I'm sure you get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous.
However...
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there was no cameras and no monitors. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. I knew it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi, so then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed.
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you're free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind's adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. It makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There's a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. Could have been you, Makoto. I could have been the victim.
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Oh, she saved him. Do you mean... during night? I can hear them, you know. Footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in dorms, I had a sudden sense of dread. Looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. Gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw a shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room. I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped him, but that led to whoever the masked assailant was. They end up dead
Correct.
because they failed, and the murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. That's really bad if true. It means mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? Mastermind wanted to use class trial to try and kill you, but couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. It's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but it seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means Mastermind is one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the Mastermind's identity. The identity of the other Ultimate Despair. The other Ultimate Despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was Ultimate Despair and that she's dead. There's another one? But I don't think the Ultimate Despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the Ultimate Despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the Ultimate Despair.
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. And they're,
Indeed.
make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is Ultimate Despair. That is our real enemy. It's over. See the Dream Island rocket present. Okay, so this is where I'll be stopping off for today. Thanks for watching this part of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and please comment if you found anything interesting in the video.